Allora, io intanto vi dico così in italiano e poi magari con loro. Ho pensato di organizzare questo momento di discussione finale in questo modo. Intanto ringrazio Antonella Chiferi per la presentazione sempre troppo generosa. Con molti di voi ci conosciamo ma non con tutti. Io sono appunto all'Università di Palermo, mi occupo da tanti anni di disturbi dell'apprendimento, aspetti legati proprio anche tra l'altro a tanti degli aspetti di cui abbiamo parlato oggi, anche working memory e quant'altro. Qui sono tutti i miei riferimenti, è il mio sito nuovo, quindi andatelo a seguire, questo Altervista, cioè mi ha impegnato l'ultimo weekend. Invece quello che ho fatto stamattina è stato un po' prendere appunti durante questa interessante mattinata e quindi adesso a raffica sparo, come si suol dire, tutta una serie di domande, considerazioni che ho proprio scritto in tempo reale e che quindi rispetto alle quali poi vediamo anche di procedere su questa discussione. I was saying to the people that I just introduced myself, and then I said that during today I took a lot of okay, no. Not about what you said, and I have a lot of questions, considerations, and so on. So maybe the best things is just to read together all the things that I wrote, and then you can decide who want to answer, who want to consider and add something. For instance, you said that a lot of children with ADHD has also a specific learning disorder, but you specifically talked about reading and spelling disorder, not about math. It was one question at the beginning, yes, because you know that there is a very high comorbidity among ADHD and math disorder, and I think math disorder is really my principal interest about just because I think that we need to study it more. We already know a lot of things about readings and spellings, but we need to know more about math disorder. Even because you know that math disorder is also in math disorders is really important also, for instance, executive processes, working memory, lot of aspects that are interested in ADHD. So it's very important to, for the future maybe, to talk about that, and maybe for the next project that you was talking about. And even because some aspects that you said, for instance, issues about rapid naming, you know that also rapid naming is important not only for phonological or phonemic abilities, but also for executive processes like inhibition of relevant information, so we can consider all together. È necessario che io anche un po' lo dica in italiano o più o meno leggendo gli appunti si riesce a seguire? Ok. Okay, so this is for the general aspects of the also of the subjects that you involved in your studies. About the program, as I saw, it is intended mainly to develop phonemic phonological awareness and reading and spelling. But you know that in reading problems in general, in dyslexia, but also when dyslexia is comorbid with ADHD, you have also more lot of problems that are based on visual aspects, about scanning text, eye movements, saccadic movements, crowding effects, and so on. And you know that crowding, for instance, is also an aspect about attention, because it's something about the focus of attention that you put in your... So at the beginning, when Antonella described to me the project about augmented reality, I thought that it was about the visual aspect of something about that. But I see that it's more about phonemic, phonological abilities. So I would like to know if you intend to develop more about, to use this program also for improving the visual aspect, because I think it could be really an interesting aspect to develop. Another question for me is the possibility to apply this system in Italy, because you know that there is a big difference among Italian and English language about shallow, and you know that Italian is a shallow orthography language and English is not, so we should discuss also about that. Then, about the monitoring system. If you prefer, I can stop and you can start to answer to the first group of questions. Maybe it's better? Okay. Okay, so I stop. I will go on. I'll mention it now. Okay.
Do you want to start? Yeah. Yes, it is a phonemic phonological program, but it's not just that. I mean, that it starts, so that would be the theoretical base, the beginning, but it gets into very advanced aspects of language. There's a lot of work on vocabulary development, etc. as well. One of your earlier questions was about bringing in maths. This is purely on, this project was purely for literacy, not for maths. But what's been very interesting with it, and I can only talk about in the Irish context, but they've changed the mathematical curriculum in the primary and secondary schools, and they're bringing in more what's called project maths. So there's an enormous amount of reading now in the maths curriculum. So a lot of students, their skills would have been quite good at maths. Their skills are dropping, probably because it's more the reading aspect than mathematical in some cases. Like say in a psychological assessment on the WISC or the WIAT, they're performing well on the maths, the numerical operations, but in the academic school class tests, they're dropping because they got to read these questions and have difficulty with the reading part of it.
I can add to that in terms of maths. It has a positive impact to maths as well because of the comprehension skills. So they have to understand the question, and that's based on the literacy skills. Now, within the next project, we're including maths, both algebra and geometry. So that's the next level. In terms of scanning text and eye-gazing, that's research ongoing from other research groups that I would really like to be involved in that. Within this project, it was a 2-year pilot, 1-year development, 1-year rollout to schools. So we had limited amount of time, and as well as we were limited in terms of the amount of intervention and monitoring of the process because it is minors that we're dealing with. But yes, I would be delighted to work on more research on these subjects. Actually, one of the areas I'm looking into is the brain waves of students with ASD, diagnosed with ASD or ADHD, and how it impacts their behavior if they are intervened with augmented reality applications. So that's the next step. I think we can move.
No, I know it. I understand. No, it's not. It's not. It is literally for the reading and spelling tasks. It's nothing to do with maths. But it's interesting because it is so formula-based. When you get further into the program, the rules are all about around formulas. That students that are good at maths absolutely fly. They understand the concept of the program very quickly because of the logical formula basis to it. But it is not a maths program.
I was thinking another thing is about reading comprehension is very important also because in this case, if you also improve reading comprehension, sometimes I see that reading comprehension is the connection among reading and math difficulties, because you know that sometimes children with math difficulties, for instance, have a lot of problems in understanding word problems. And many of arithmetic problems are in a form of word problems. So when you work on reading comprehension, you work on both. And then you know that the basis of reading comprehension and math is always working memory. So it's all the same circle. And okay, as for the monitoring system, our parents and teachers are trying to get used to it, and I'm sure that the answer will be yes, but the problem, did you experience problems with it? I mean, teachers, parents are really able to use it, they forget to use it, they always use it or not, and mainly they have difficulties in discriminating, for instance, on task behaviors, because you know that you need to develop a clinical observation, an ability about clinical observation, and many often teachers should have these abilities, but not always they do, and parents not always have this ability, and so when I use the data, the observational data, okay, so just to finish my answer, my question, when you consider the data, sometimes you use, you are not sure, maybe you are not sure that the data have been well collected, okay? And the other question, how long every session lasts, how many times for weeks, months?
Posso rispondere in italiano, perché è decisamente più facile. Allora sì, sono stati sottoposti a un training sia i genitori che gli insegnanti. Il training era minimo e chiaramente l'abbiamo organizzato rispetto a quanto riportato in letteratura. Quindi abbiamo seguito lo stesso esempio e abbiamo provveduto a fornire un training di tipo cartaceo, essenzialmente, che però era consultabile online, e poi hanno partecipato ad una sessione che abbiamo tenuto insieme, a una sessione web tenuta insieme, dove potevano anche esplicitare dubbi prima dell'avvio del progetto, cioè esplicitare dubbi ed essere sicuri di quello che avrebbero cominciato a fare. Ora, da un punto di vista della problematica dell'utilizzo, la problematica c'è, in effetti, perché abbiamo chiesto di osservare praticamente tutti gli interventi, ogni sessione dell'intervento di VWL. La percentuale di risposta non è quella che ci aspettavamo, è più bassa. Però discutendo già di questo...
Quindi nel senso che non lo compilano,
di fatto una percentuale di osservatori, indipendentemente dal fatto che siano insegnanti o che siano genitori, non compila l'osservazione. Abbiamo già discusso di questo anche con i partner, e essenzialmente la scelta è stata quella di non essere eccessivamente intrusivi rispetto all'utilizzo del sistema, perché lo studio è un pilota, no? Quindi anche questo, anche la percentuale bassa di utilizzo del sistema di osservazione è un'informazione, no? È una cosa di cui uno fa tesoro e poi sviluppa una risposta rispetto a questa problematica. Ora, il fatto che abbiano difficoltà nella discriminazione dell'on-task e dell'off-task, di quel rischio c'è, di fatto, no? Ed è un rischio, non abbiamo predisposto analisi qualitativa, quindi è un rischio che rimane aperto. D'altra parte, quindi una riduzione del rischio è immagine ipotizzabile, considerando che noi chiediamo soltanto di fare un rating dell'off-task. Diciamo che la probabilità, no, che ci sia rimane, ma dico... abbiamo cercato anche tramite il training di ridurre al minimo questa possibilità, rischi della ricerca, immagino. No? Allora, ogni sessione di VL in teoria dovrebbe durare 15 minuti e c'è un programma preciso rispetto all'intervento. Allora, data la caratteristica, intanto del fatto che gli stakeholder sono bambini essenzialmente, e poi sono bambini con difficoltà particolari, no? Con funzionamento particolare, quindi è possibile che l'intervento duri meno, che quella sessione duri soltanto 5 minuti, e da un punto di vista dell'osservazione, l'osservazione non dovrebbe essere fatta. E questa informazione nel training non c'è, quindi i genitori e gli insegnanti dovrebbero essere sicuri, cioè dovrebbero sapere con certezza che se l'osservazione dura meno di 15, se l'intervento dura meno di 15 minuti, l'osservazione non va fatta. Questo chiaramente allo stato attuale non lo sappiamo se è veramente successo. Abbiamo gli strumenti, fortunatamente, tramite l'analisi dei dati per capire quant'è la media della durata dell'intervento e quale percentuale di sessioni dell'intervento dura meno di 15 minuti. Quindi a questa domanda si può dare risposta con l'analisi dei dati. How many?
Quante volte, per esempio, i ragazzini facevano questi training?
2 volte a settimana.
2 volte a settimana per?
In media 2 volte a settimana per 16 settimane, 16 weeks. Per 16
Can I just comment on that? The program can be done in 16 weeks, but that would not be in a school setting. That would be in a one-to-one private setting. For this project, the students it was meant for the academic year, so it started in October, finishing now, and they were looking at doing about 15 minutes per day, 4 to 5 days a week. That's what the requirement was. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, short periods until they finish the program. Some people finish the program quickly, some it took longer because that's what's recommended, and the work schedule is divided up into 15-minute slots, but it depends on the ability of the students. Some will do it quicker, some will go slower. So, but they had access to it for the full academic year. So 16 weeks would not happen in a school. One-to-one, yes.
Okay. Sorry, I was reading when he was talking. I was reading my questions without the auxiliary verb. So forget my English, please. Okay. And about the study, you said that you had significant results, but you didn't. Or maybe I don't know if you say that I didn't heard about it. Which were the dependent variable observed? So if you had
Which were
dependent variable, so if you had improvements in phonological awareness, spelling, but also dysgraphia, symptoms, reading comprehension, working memory, if you measured like that, or you just measure reading, time of attention, and also another aspect, it was about interaction about medication and efficacy, because at the beginning you said that some of the participants had also medication, so I suppose medication about hyperactivity disorder, so are you talking about pharma?
ADHD medication.
Which kind of medication?
So like Ritalin for ADHD, so it would
Yes,
be for
okay.
purely
so,
yes.
Yes, so I would like to know also if you measured the differences in the efficacy of the program between the children that had medication and children that
Sure. At
did
this
not.
point in time, what has been reassessed would just be the literacy, so it is reading comprehension, reading speed and spelling. They're the results right now. It is the next process over the summer. We'll be looking at all those aspects that you're talking about, the variables comparing progress with being on ADHD or not being on ADHD, or which comorbid issues they had and their progress. That is going to be analysed over July. Yeah. So we don't have those results yet. But we're getting a lot. I mean, I've done reassessed over 80 of the children. So I have a very good idea of where their progress is in terms of reading and spelling and reading comprehension.
Also reading comprehension.
Oh yes, yeah. And reading speed. Yeah, they're formally standardized test.
Cosa? Devo riferire? Allora, alcuni risultati li avranno, ma non, diciamo, ancora non sono definitivi, relativamente alle abilità di lettura, spelling, as well, scrittura e comprensione, ma non sulle altre cose. Però dico, in realtà avete i tempi anche di attenzione, quindi su questo ce l'avete là? È un...
un'analisi preliminare, fermi a gennaio, proprio dello staff. Allora, la differenza non era significativa, ma c'era, ringraziando il cielo, un trend era significativo.
Ringraziando il cielo. anni e anni di scienza per ringraziare il cielo, ci sarebbe da dire. Quindi comunque c'è anche. Ma in questo momento ovviamente l'applicazione viene fatta soltanto in Irlanda. So the next question is, no, before the next question. My final consideration is it is a very interesting program, so congratulations to all the staff, to all the group. Very, very interesting, and I see that there are a lot of potentialities in different areas. So the next question is when it will be ready for Italy? Because I think that is very important. We have teachers here, so it's very important to apply it in Italy and in Palermo as well.
So as part of the sustainability plan for the AHA project, the AHA platform will be open source and available to be reused. And we would welcome maybe content from Italy with literacy skills for the language in Italy, or maybe try Wordsworth learning English content as second language in Italy. So we are at the moment we're investigating different permutations of where we can see it moving the AHA project within the European context as well, not just.
Yes, because it could be also as per insegnare l'inglese.
As a second language.
Yes, as a second language. Certo, perché in questo modo è già pronto. Ecco perché ci sono insegnanti di inglese qui.
The approach is completely different. So students are always used to study in a different way from the rest of Europe, and they have a different program to afford, and so it should be modulated on the Italian didactic.
Yes,
A different way of approaching for teachers to explain and for students to understand and to be able to approach them to the application.
That's why the content is very important, and the pedagogical praxis is different from country to country and from language to language. And even as a second language is different, the pedagogy instead of first language. So these are all to be taken into consideration and advance the system for further development. But there's definitely potential there.
But I think that, however, you could also experiment if this method, really the same one.
English as secondary language, yes, because you can
Yeah.
apply all their.
Yes. No, I mean in this. This is what I was saying.
Approach to the teaching is different, so we should change our way of teaching.
Yes, and I was saying that you should experiment if to change your way could be more. You can reach more efficacy in changing your way and using the same system, or because I don't know. Probably yes, or maybe just with a group of students and so.
Yes,
So, no, volevi dire qualcosa?
yes, I think that the possibility to experiment with English teacher, this system is a good opportunity for the Italy, because yes, we have a different approach. Usually we can experiment this type of system inside the laboratories, during the laboratory of English, and understand if this approach could be facilitate the learning of English in the children in Italy. I think that it is an interesting approach, and I think that it is an interesting to follow and create a community, for experiment this system. For example, I think that the possibility to introduce the observation along the process of learning give us the possibility to understand how the student follow the learning activity, how the student learn during the learning activities.
Out from the
Yes, 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 but
part of the problem.
yes, but we can imagine to yes, but we can imagine to
Case then would be the first experimentation. It would be better, of course, because you know the English schools or like international house. I mean, they
Yes.
just follow their own methods, coming from England, of course.
Yes.
And many Italian students are okay. They are success.
Of course.
They have success in their exams, and they can do that. So just changing, you can do it.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
But just using in the school as a normal approaching study, it would be better just for many
Of course.
schools, the teachers, the students.
Yes, yes. Yes, and another thing that we are studying inside this project is the added value of augmented reality, because we compare the different group, and this is an interesting experience to explore for understanding the added value of augmented reality for learning these languages, for the literacy. I think that if there are inside this audience now teachers of English interested to experiment the system, please alert us,
Yes,
and
and then,
we can reply you with a possible pilot project.
And I think that another important aspect will be also to use it in order to teach English to people with learning disorder, because isn't it a different aspect in this case? No, stavo pensando, non ti ho seguito.
Second language.
No, yes, but not in general.
But not with people with an ADHD problem. Because the approach in that case anyway could be different. In that case you should
Yes.
be expert in that kind of teaching with those people, because it's just a different language, and then should be
Yes, but also people with people with dyslexia that have a lot of problem in learning second language. Yes.
as a secondary skill in a normal way.
Now, just say the program wasn't developed for students with ADHD. It was developed for students who had reading, spelling delays or disorders. It's also been used with the normal learning population in full classes. So, you know, it's the same methodology, it's the same content, delivered at different paces depending on the students that you're working with. But this isn't specifically for students with ADHD. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, I think that for the Italy school that has an inclusive approach with the children, it is possible to experiment with children with specific needs and with children with have no problem in reading and spelling and improve altogether. So I think that it is an opportunity that we are experimenting now in Ireland, and we are interested to exploit these results in the rest of Europe, and especially in Italy. And yes, I think that Palermo can be a pilot for these experiments. And yes, I give the speech to Eleni, that is the coordinator of this process, for concluding this day. Okay,
Thank you,
thanks.
Giuseppe.
And thank you, Antonella, for your conclusion, for your summary, for give us this important suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. And
you.
Just to conclude about the project, so we are during the evaluation process at the moment. We have positive results so far from the standardized tests, which is the NARA and the Vernon test. But we will be correlating the results from the observations, from the other comorbid issues that the students might have. So the correlation and the data analytics will happen during the summer, and we will report to Luxembourg for the Commission end of October, and we will publish a report with the results on the website. So keep an eye aha.ucd.ie is our website. We have all our reports and dissemination results up there, so please do follow us up. There will be a couple of more good news next couple of weeks, but keep an eye on the website. There is another project coming up which was successful, and I want to personally thank all the partners, all the group that has been involved. We have had great experts. It's been a success so far, and I'm looking forward to working further with everybody within our next projects. And thank you for hosting us today, Giuseppe. And thank you all for coming. Thank you.